Anaria Shola. Death to all who oppose.
Okay, welcome everyone. Questine here with more World of Warcraft Burning Crusade Classic Beta. Gonna be going for some dungeon spamming. And who knows? Maybe Costin will actually try some PvP tonight. Not really interested, I gotta admit, in PvP. Spamming. Not really interested in PvP, I'll admit, but hey, might break the monotony a bit. Let's see, everyone. All right, let's get going. Now, it's kind of an interesting one. Like, we can't actually enter Alcatraz because no one has the key. Not that I'd want to do Alcatraz. I've had enough horror stories from that place to tell. With regards to its difficulty. So yeah, the beta is great experience so far. Okay. So we got a hunter, priest, warlock, shaman. I'm not quite sure who's... Oh, the shaman is the healer. Okay. Shaman healer for Botanica Heroic. Let's do it. Let's go for it. I think I'm actually going to use a spell power flask here, though that flask that I do have is going to still last for 2 hours. I don't have any water, though. That might be a problem. I'm going to actually have to fly to Area 52 to get some actual water. I don't quite understand why Blizzard wouldn't give us epic flying mounts, but I mean, you can get them if you want to. I just be making a bunch of characters just to get the mount at this particular point, at any rate. Okay. Just gonna get my water and then we'll head over.
Hey, interesting. Money, friend. Keep it real. Yo. Glad I could help.
Okay. Gonna get going. So the shaman is in, the warlock is in. Don't know where the hunter is. Oh, he's also moving in. Okay, so we're all here. All good. Do I need symbols? No, I have enough symbols for everyone. Let's go. So I already did Botanica Heroic with a melee cleave group. It was pretty easy. Not too hard. Was it on this realm? Yeah, it was on this realm. It's kind of odd having two different realms for, you know, the sake of beta testing. I'm glad someone in Blizzard woke up and it's like, yeah, you know, people are gonna want to test the beta, but they're not gonna level the characters from scratch. That clearly was not gonna happen. I mean, there's a significant amount of people right now in the beta, and they just CBA when it comes to... Oh, wait, what? If I was in... Sure. Sleepy Joe. What is this, symposium? Could be. Hello. Okay. Hello to everyone that's joining in the stream. Just gonna start the Botanica. Heroic. Yep. It's late at night here in Romania. I've got my coffee in. I'm gonna pull a late nighter. Because that's apparently when the bats come out to play. Oh, wrong button. Okay. Oh, great. Dear, that's great. Yeah. Is Prop Paladin viable as main tank, or are we stuck off tanking even in later tiers? I mean, one of the mentalities I think, to answer the question, yes, he is. A lot of guilds won't see it that way, but yes. The viability is there. The problem is you'll be fighting a brick wall to get past that. My advice, be an officer or raid leader or guild leader of your own guild if you don't want to deal with that shit. The problem is the mentality of a lot of people is going to be warrior main tank or druid main tank. Is paladin viable? Abso-fucking-lutely. I mean, I tanked quite a bit in this beta. I never felt like I was at a disadvantage. But to answer your question, yes. One of the things to say about the Prop Paladin is you shouldn't view the Prop Paladin as an off-tank because Prop Paladins aren't really good at an off-tanking role. When I think of an off-tank, I think of someone who, in a boss fight, can contribute something, right? You don't really contribute something unless you are actually tanking. Well, people are now starting to understand that Feral Bear might be more valuable than Proud Warrior. Yeah, true. And my perspective, and this is the reason I play Prop Paladin, actually. Like, if you ask me, do I want to deal with all this shit? No. I'll be quite frank on it. I absolutely do not fucking want to deal with this kind of crap with the narrow-mindedness of people because, oh, this is how it was on retail, and it's like, oh, private servers and all that kind of crap. But, I mean, when it comes to Prop Paladin, it's like you should always view it as a main tank role, even if you are not tanking bosses, because who tanks bosses is an irrelevancy in the grander picture. I mean, sure, it's nice to do it, to actually, you know, tanking something in a boss fight instead of fucking around messing, just smacking it with a mace for 0 damage. But that's not really what's relevant. The main thing that matters from a tanking perspective in TBC is gonna be dealing with all the trash up to bosses. And that role is where having a competent Prop Paladin is really, really important. Because sure, you can do all the trash without the Prop Paladin. Absolutely. No problem. People say Prop Paladin couldn't tank Maiden and carry. Yeah. Actually, on retail, it was a problem because of the spell badges, so it is actually difficult getting spells in. But I'm sure, but I tanked it on the beta as if it was fucking nothing. I tanked Curator. Try tanking Prince, couldn't quite manage to kill him with the group I was in. We could have killed him if we had more tries, actually, but it's like, you know, people mess up. I messed up. Some RNG comes into the play with bad Infernals and all that kind of stuff. That's how Prince is as a boss fight. That's kind of the fight. That's kind of Prince in a nutshell. But honestly, it just, yeah. So I would say, as a Prop Paladin, can you main tank? Abso-fucking-lutely. And the thing is, your mentality should be that. You should always take the perspective that as a Prop Paladin, you are the guy that the raid is going to depend on. You're the tank that the raid is going to depend on the most to clear things quickly. That's your job. I mean, forget the bosses for a second. How you do the trash with the Prop Paladin is very, very important. It determines your speed. Like, how many mobs can you pull and how many can you AoE? How much CC? How many tanks do you need for the trash? Can you go in as a Prop Paladin and just pull every pack of trash or multiple packs of trash and just have them AoE down? Yes or no? Simple as that. That's what it's really going to boil down to as far as I see it. I think so far in the beta it might be more limited, but still plenty of potential with that. I mean, I've been able to do the Hydral trash waves. Granted, with a lot of other things coming into play, like the literally tanking the mobs where they were spawning. But we were able to do the human camp trash waves in like 10 minutes. Each of those bosses, each of those trash waves for the bosses. When I say each, I mean the 8 waves before each of the first 2 bosses. Hello, hello. To everyone joining in. Alright, so let's get going with this. I decided to go against the meta slaves and be May Rogue PV for PV and pick Herb Alchemy to get gold for Warcraft the Lich King. Well, you can do whatever you want. Here's the thing, you can always do whatever the hell you want. That's no issue. You can play whatever class and role you want. Hell, you can be a Mace Rogue for all I care. The one problem with that, guilds will not take you. That's always been a constant in World of Warcraft. Guilds have always refused to not take what they view as being suboptimal. I mean, this was the issue with balanced druids, rep palas, and enhanced shamans to a small extent, though, but still initially, LA shamans, etc., and prop paladins in TBC on retail. It was an issue for every hybrid in vanilla, though frankly I don't think they're really viable in vanilla personally. That's my view. It's always been an issue, and it would and continues to be an issue to this day. I mean, you can play whatever the hell you want, but yeah. Never cared about guilds when you can just pug tier 4. Yeah, but you're assuming those pugs are gonna want to take you in tier 4. Just remember that. They might not do so. Yeah, I got Aldori. Got lucky. I did no, I did 2 gruels. Got this on the second. That's why I'm playing on this character, the Costin. Just play Resto Shaman. Do you think equipment is important for first dungeons? No. Though there is a bit of a catch when I'm saying that. You can make perfect, like I was in the beta on this on the character that I played on. I started from 0. I just did some quests that got a couple of armor pieces and weapon and all that from quests. And then I started doing dungeon spam, and I was just fine with that. The problem is you're not going to be able to do that, nor is it optimal really to do that. My advice, get PvP gear in the pre-patch. In TBC I raided with guild, I had 3 mace rogues, 2 mace arm warriors, 2 hunters. They didn't get far. It would be a bit wrong when it comes to shield. This one is Aldori Legacy Defender. Can't say I blame you though for confusing it. Where is the DPS, boys and girls? Feels lacking. The feeling when the melee cleave group was doing better in this. Oh, that was not the wisest move in the world. Panic fearing is all well and good, but that one might bite us in the ass. Or not. How's the mana situation? All fine. The one interesting thing about the beta is that things do die quickly, sure, but damage? Oof, the damage is pretty high, actually. Oh, I guess I understand why our damage is low. Spell Reflect. Like, for instance, these mobs, if you have melee, will die very, very quickly, but they also do, like, they have a special attack that does 2k damage per each of them. If you pull 4 of them, you have the potential of getting hit for 8k. And that's beyond their normal melee attack, remember that. Well, he MC'd the wrong mob. Well, okay, it's fine. I guess I should have been more specific. Bam, mobs do die easily. That's the one thing to know. Though they did say with Karazhan that they didn't have necessarily the correct value, so the question has to be... Let's get a 300 spell power buff, boys and girls. There we go. Infinite threat. Genuinely, mana is not really a big factor, though I may have to drink every pack. But it depends, really. It really does depend on the kind of situation I'm confronted with. Sometimes, the one thing to know as a paladin is you are likely going to be in a situation on trash where you're probably going to be drinking on every pack. The reason is because you have to keep spamming for threat, because else DPS will pull aggro if you don't. Unless you have a Shadow Priest constantly doing damage. Now obviously I do have a Shadow Priest here, so it's going to be less of a problem. Yep. Does Avenger Shield silence in TBC? Nope, it does not silence in TBC. I can survive that, I think. I mean, I should be able to survive with my 14k armor. 18k right now. Inspiration is a hell of a drug. Do you have to compensate defensive stats for spell damage in order to gain threat? No. At least not initially. I'm worrying. The only thing that I'm worrying right now that's, let's say, spell power orientated is like literally just chest, helm, and... Well, obviously weapon. Chest, helm, and cloak. That's it. Granted, I also have a mega buff of spell power. But my threat is fine right now. It might not be fine once I start dealing with the warlocks wearing Spell Strike and Frozen Shadow Weave, but that's a situation every tank's gonna have to deal with. But by that point, hopefully I have Blood Mom Agus Blade from Gruul, and so it's less of an issue. I'm gonna push real hard with the officers. That's like, yeah, give that to a paladin, he will fucking need it. Anyway. Survival Hunters in BFA, single target DPS by a line. Now no one wanted them. You know, I don't know if I buy that notion that they're the highest single target DPS TBH. I think some other classes will like a ward with you. Other classes that aren't as gimped as Survival Hunters are in terms of achieving that DPS. Worth saying. Easy does it. Honestly, the highest DPS that I've seen in the game, in well, Shadowlands at least. Probably Boomkin. Maybe. But honestly, let's not talk about retail. I've had enough horrible experiences over last week in retail to last me quite a while. Okay, no healing. We wipe. I guess I moved a bit too far, or he was drinking, or whatever. I'll take that. I admit, I don't know how some people... You have good experiences in you guys have good experiences in retail. You know, it's kind of... Pala with Tempest using Mongoose on it? What? The F? Oh man, a guilty... Damn, that's yeah, good experiences on retail no longer exists unless you're in a decent guild. Now that's kind of the thing, but here's the problem with that. You know, people saying that, it's like as if, oh, you just have to find a guild and you'll have a good experience. I'm having a lot of good experiences even just literally pugging so far in the beta. And I've pugged in Classic as well, and you know, I have a blast in it. I'm gonna have a blast in it. I mean, there are other reasons I quit Classic, but I always actually enjoyed the actual raiding. I didn't enjoy so much the farming that I had to do in order to join those raids, but the actual raiding, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Pugs, yeah. Night. See ya, Tweak. Sorry for the late night stuff, guys, but there's no helping it, I'm afraid. So yeah. Oh, did he run here already? Good. They killed one at least. So yeah, I mean, you can have a lot of good experiences. Hell, I'll even say it. As much as I despise Wrath of the Lich King, I've actually had a blast playing on Wrath recently on a certain server. Retail? Retail is just not a good experience. They still don't have enough people in the beta. They do. Europeans just CPA, basically. That's what... At this point, it's not even a case that there aren't enough Europeans in the beta. I still think NA is overrepresented, but... I think it's also the fact that... Well, there's more NA players, and it seems that they care more about playing the beta than EU players for whatever reason. I'm not gonna dive into the reasoning about it. Like, many people in my former guild got in the beta. Are any of them playing right now? No. Why? I don't know. Wisdom. Okay. I mean, it's your choice. You know, I have to agree with that, Winnick. World War raiding is amazing. Say what you will about Wrath. Whoever designed World War did a fucking amazing job. If only they had continued doing an amazing job with the subsequent raid tiers instead of slacking off in TOGC and then fucking everything that they had done in World War with ICC. Like, genuinely, ICC is a horrible raid in many, many ways. So many bosses there are horribly designed. And that's fine. Plenty of other raids have horrible design and all that kind of stuff. The issue with ICC is you have to do every single boss every week. And you also have to deal with it on 10 men and 25. I mean, you can say make the argument for World War as well, but in World War, I'll tell you this: in World War, you can skip over half the fucking raid and still kill Algalon and all the other bosses that you care about. That's why World War is an amazing raid. Hey, you know this boss that no one fucking needs in the raid because no one gives a crap about the gear because we got better gear from elsewhere? We can skip it. You want to do Yogg 0? You can, easily. Just a couple of bosses you need to kill. The worst of which is Flame Leviathan. Worst as in it's fucking boring. You don't want to do every boss on a hard mode? You can do so. You can pick and choose what you do on a hard mode or not. It doesn't really matter at all. That's why World War is a great raid. Because reality is people play these raids for months and months on end, and that's where ICC really is a terrible raid. I mean, it's not nowhere near as bad as TOGC. TOGC is absolute hell. It's not even that the raid is so badly designed, it's that you have 4 different settings. You have 10-man normal, 10-man heroic, 25-man normal, 25-man heroic. And out of those, if you're a serious raider, you're gonna be doing 3 of those. You're gonna do 10 heroic, 25 normal, and 25 heroic for months. Now you can do all of that in a single raid night. That's not the problem. It's just so horrible to actually do that. It's not fun. It genuinely isn't fun. So I don't know. Like, I'm kind of curious to see what will happen with the community when Wrath the Lich King Classic comes out, because we know it's gonna happen, right? We absolutely know Wrath the Lich King Classic is gonna come out. I'm kind of curious to see if the sterling reputation of it is gonna hold up, or if people are gonna discover that it's not the greatest expansion that ever was released. And then I'm actually really curious how Cataclysm will be received. I always feel sad about Cata in a way. Like, I remember the heroics of Cataclysm quite fondly. All the Stolvir stuff was honestly quite amazing. Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to play a melee DPS in Wrath. I'll be honest with you guys.
Step forward. I will see that you are properly.
First off, you have an annoying grind because you need the Darkmoon card trinket in the first tier. Everyone needs it. It's like 50k gold easily. But that's not even the worst problem. Alright, Serranus. She just summons ads, does some damage on the tank. Whoop-de-doo!
I have not yet begun to.
Oh yeah, imagine Nax 2.0 for 6 months, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's gonna be bad in TBC, but TBC at least has something. It has its heroics. Now those are gonna help keep the game active, right? And then Wrath, what does Wrath have? Arena, okay, I suppose. 8 buttons to press. I wouldn't go that far, but actually I never liked the red playstyle. I still don't like the red playstyle. And I've played Retribution, sorry. I've actually played Retribution myself. Full time in a guild. In a Cata guild. And although I like the Cataclysm Paladin design, it's never been fond of Retribution, I admit. I've played it in TBC, I played it in Wrath. Never really liked it. It's not that I hate DPSing, I can enjoy the shit out of DPSing. Then we have Nax 2.0. No, we had it. Game came out middle of November. World War came in April, early April. So that's what, 5-6 months, basically. Well, rip we lost the spell power buff. Ooh. Did I give him? Yeah, yes, Alf. He's just being a bit too aggressive. Or maybe he survived. Yep, he died. The thing about Seed of Corruption, great spell as it is, you kind of need to wait for all the mobs to be in position before you do it. Either way, doesn't matter. Like, honestly, if it was a case of playing a DPS or full-time, I think I would play many other classes before touching Retribution Paladin. Yes, it's important for a raid team. Yes, it has a lot of power behind it, but man. Maybe I'm just not fond of two-handed DPSers in World of Warcraft at all. I don't like DK, I don't really like Arms Warrior, despite the fact that big hulking warrior with a massive weapon sounds extremely appealing. It's not really so appealing. Like Fury, I'm all on two-hand dual wield DPS. So I really like Fury Warrior, for instance. I might just level a Warlock alt. Or at least a Mage alt for Classic. So these mobs, they don't really do anything special. Well, they have some abilities, right? She's got her plant minions and it's like, oh, they're immune to shadow damage. Like, they get various resistances dependent on where they are, but they're so easy to deal with, that's not the problem. I think the biggest thing with Prot is DPS gonna let the mob soak in. Yeah, you need to wait for 2 consecrations usually before you start going in. Maybe 1 at the very least. That's actually a genuine issue. Like, just wait. And then you can go seed and kill the mobs in 2 seconds. Don't know how I lost aggro on that one. I guess the hunter is kind of pumping that one, but it's fine. Am I missing something? Where's my fret gone? Oh well, guess some people are just pumping more fret than I am. What, gladiator stance? I suppose. Was that the thing back in Mr. Pandaria? I don't know, just... Okay. I lost fret to a pet. So either my fret is so horrible, or there is some kind of fret drop here that I'm not aware of. Yeah, I did lose the fret spell power buff, but so did they, and I've never had fret issues against DPSers so far. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna keep a better eye on that omen. See how it goes. Oh, it was Warlord Zadranor. So the interesting thing is the hunter is actually the one that's doing the most threat right now. But you know, hunter, there's a feign death button. Should maybe use it. Maybe growl? Maybe. I don't know. That was kind of interesting. It's funny playing with people that have never done TBC before, and you notice that they don't know what the mechanics are at all. I mean, I don't hold it against people. I only hold it against people when you do tell them what they're doing wrong and they just don't care. Like that certain priest I was dealing with yesterday that was doing Holy Nova. I remember that boss being harder. I don't remember that boss being harder ever. The Sather boss? Yeah, sure. Warpstalker? Absolutely. That guy? No. There we go. Seeds did their job. Good. I may have to use just some... Wait, are these guys using Flask? Yeah, he is using Flask. Is he using Flask? I mean, okay, there's your explanation. I'm dealing with DPSers that are using Flasks in a 5-man dungeon situation. Makes sense. And I'm in mostly mitigation gear, where I should be using fret gear. There's your explanation for fret issues right there. I mean, I am using a flask myself, don't get me wrong, but it's like I'm using a survival flask. Because I've gotten so used to the idea of fret is a non-issue that... Well, and honestly, even like this, it is a non-issue. I can hold fret. Most of the time. It seems the biggest fret issue the biggest fret issues I've actually had in the beta so far, surprisingly, have been from hunters. I don't really know why it is. Is it because they're doing a lot more damage? Or whatever. Please don't pull. Please don't pull. Yeah, I don't know if it's because hunters are doing a lot more damage than expected. You know, I said that hunters are the best DPSers in the game in all my videos that I did. What happens if it comes out that, yeah, you kind of underestimated hunter DPS? Not overestimated, underestimated. And hunters end up doing a heck of a lot more damage in TBC than they did on private servers. Is he even MDing? No, I don't think he is, to be quite honest. It's fine. I get an old fret and I have mana potions and all that stuff. No trust. Did I call for a CC? No, I did not call for a CC. Well, granted, these mobs can hit hard, but it's like, come on, dude. I think this is a case of where he's not feigning deafing as much as he can. He's not using a fret meter, I'm pretty sure. Is seal twisting working on the beta? Yes, I did a whole video on that. Check it out, seal swap video. I call it seal swapping, probably should have just called it seal twisting, but whatever. But yes, it is working in the beta. It is very powerful. Maybe not as powerful. I think there's a bug with it. So for instance, if I swap from Vengeance to something else, it instantly swaps. You can see it here in the LVI. But if I swap from Righteousness to Vengeance, Righteousness lingers for 0.5 seconds. Vengeance doesn't linger for 0.5 seconds when you do it, nor does Blood. Yeah, should have called it twisting. Just might rename the video, I don't know. Oh, ye of little faith. I like that the Warlock banished them. Oh, the gouge. Don't die. That stun is annoying. Link in the video chat. Just give me a second, boys. Tanking a bit. Though, seriously, check my channel in the meantime. Give me a sec. Just gonna deal with this. Okay. Where did I put it? I mean, it's literally okay. Anyway. There's your video. Seal swap video. I think that link should work. You mentioned that Gavel is better in the continual blade. Why is that and what changed? Scaling. So, Gavel on private servers So what I found out, and I'm using Gavel right now, maybe I should use Stormcaller. So what I found, so I did a bunch of tests on private servers, right? In terms of figuring out how much damage, how much threat you do between Gavel, Continuum Blade, Stormcaller, and all that kind of stuff. What I found just testing the seal damage is that Gavel was doing less damage and less threat implicitly than Continuum Blade on seal. But in the beta, it actually does more damage on seal. I don't know why the difference, but I can tell you that Prop Paladin is significantly stronger. Well, he reset threat, boys and girls. That's kind of what happened. Is the hunter so obnoxious that he can't feign death even when the boss is gonna kill him? Okay. Maybe he did and resisted.
I hate to say I told you so.
Yeah. I think that's what Plestor is just saying is the issue. So COR was bugged on PV private servers. It was meant to do the same DPS with all weapon speed, and it didn't do that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's supposed to ultimately end up with the same DPS saying threat per second, regardless of the weapon speed. So you got the normalization of damage. It just didn't happen. And there's other issues. Like, I'm doing a heck of a lot more threat than on private servers, I can tell you that much. Like, threat right now is a non-issue for me in the beta. Yeah, hunters can pull aggro when they are literally using flasks and I have no consumable to boost my own threat. Yes, he can pull aggro there. If he MD'd, he wouldn't pull aggro. You know, if he literally used the one ability hunter that makes hunters useful in raid environment, he wouldn't pull threat. But yeah, so Gavel of Unearthed Secrets, best sought weapon. Actually, not really, because the difference is insignificant between Gavel and Continuum Blade, so Continuum Blade actually still ends up being overall the best because it doesn't need an Exalted reputation. It's also the cheapest. And realistically, what you want to do as a player is get a weapon as quickly as possible when you get to 70. Continuum Blade will be that weapon. And then worry about other pieces of gear. You can get Gavel after that. Oh, they're dead. If they send the net, I'm dead. Let's see, where's my weapon? I'm gonna try Stormcaller, maybe that will do more threat. Come on, dude. Is it just me? Okay, that was a feint death. I thought he was dead. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna actually answer that question. Crasher, I'm gonna answer that question. But the question is something a lot of people have been asking me in these streams, and it just started to really greatly annoy me. Seal of Sanctuary, or Blessing of Sanctuary, does nothing. Absolutely nothing except reduce 80 damage. If you block, right? If you block an attack, it will reduce the damage by 80. A Blessing of Kings will give you about 1k HP. Kings wins. Plain and simple. That's why I'm not using Sanctuary. This isn't Wrath, where it gives you mana back when you dodge, parry, or block. And also 10% stamina. The same as Kings. But it's 80 damage. I'm getting hit for 4k. It's insignificant. Kind of. Yeah, guys. Death and Decay. Okay. Soul Survivors, I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, Sanctuary is only good for souling stuff, for grinding stuff. Like, you know, Scarlet Monastery, Stratholme, all that kind of stuff, right? It's good for those kind of things. It's not about the damage, it's the threat. It's meaningless. You dodge so much. Like, it's literally only gonna apply to blocks. So here's the thing. Imagine, now understand how this works. Sanctuary does threat to a particular target that whose attack you're blocking. Attacks usually are every 2 seconds. Best case scenario, you're doing 80 threat per second on a target. That's not insignificant. It also doesn't really mean much. But here's the point that I'm gonna stress out. Your threat as a tank is unimportant. In the beta, so far, in every dungeon, on normal, on heroic, in raids, going full survivability has been the play. I've literally, when I did the Crusade the first time, I literally gemmed dodge to try and get the crush cap. I had no threat issues. And in the first Crusade I did, I was playing with people who knew what the hell they were doing, because I had played with them on private servers. So they were very experienced, and for us it was a breeze dealing with Crusade. I mean, Sanctuary is obviously it does apply to Righteous Fury, but I'm talking about 80 threat per second. Assuming every attack that hits every 2 seconds, so that's why I'm saying 80 threat per second, every attack actually is a block. They're not all gonna be blocks. Some are not gonna be, some are just gonna be direct hits, some are gonna miss, or dodge, or parry. So it's not a good idea in any context. Unless you literally just want to maximize your threat when you don't have to care about your survivability in any way, and that's the only context where you do it. If you literally don't care about your survivability, you can use it. But here's the thing. Even in that situation, there are far better sacrifices to make to increase your threat. You can switch your flask from, yeah. It's 80 damage from less source. Okay, let's read the tooltip, boys and girls. It's not okay. All right, 80 damage on the source is fair enough. Doesn't matter. The threat component only, the reflective damage component only works. 80 damage is significant. I'm getting hit for 5k in some of these dungeons on heroic. Do you think 80 damage is gonna matter, or the fact that I have 1k HP to survive the burst? Like this is the last time I talk about Sanctuary. Like, seriously, don't use it. Plain and simple. It's not worth using. I'm gonna pop an iron shield there. Hopefully the healer keeps me up. I may have pulled a lot more. In a raid environment, I'd rather have Blessing of Light so that the Holy Paladin is actually healing me for more, and Wisdom so I don't run out of mana as much. If I can have a 4th Blessing, sure, I'd use Sanctuary if I had the 4th Blessing. But that's the only context where I'd bother with Sanctuary in a raid. And I've tanked everything on overtuned private servers. Okay. Lash. Now, one of the things that I find interesting, one, we have Darkmoon cards in the beta. Whether or not they'll actually be there at launch, different discussion. They shouldn't be, as far as I see it. But the interesting thing, the really interesting one, is Madness is working where it shouldn't. So what's the tooltip? Each time you land a killing blow on an enemy that yields experience or armor, you gain the power of Madness. Problem. It's not, it's buffing. I'm gaining the buff when I'm obviously 70. And I get the killing blow. Now, it's not particularly useful, it's a minor buff, but there is some potential in AoE packs. You might manage to get it in AoE packs, right? As a paladin, maybe get the benefit. I mean, the trinket is something you'd maybe want to use. It's usually very cheap because no one benefits from it except tanks, and even then tanks don't necessarily care about it. So yeah. Okay. Easy stuff, easy life. Logic to the joke. So Botanica is not hard heroic, honestly. Except for one thing. Warp Splinter is a bit of a annoyance. I really pray that I didn't rate Botanica as one of the hardest heroics in my video. What is your opinion on Pally engineering profession? Yeah, go for it. If Darkmoon cards, even if Darkmoon cards are in the game, go for engineering. I'm personally going to go engineering jewel crafting for my guild. Jewel crafting for the guild purposes, though I will gain a trinket I can use and some gems. And engineering because I want the explosions. Here's the thing about prop paladin tanking. You are obviously the only real AoE tank in the game. But you don't have burst AoE threat. Consecration is a dot, so it means it takes time for it to actually do threat. Now the thing about engineering, you get super sapper charges from engineering. Now super sapper charges and grenades and all that, they're not enough to hold threat on their own, but they give you a nice solid burst of threat. So that DPSers can start pumping from the start without having to wait for consecration ticks. And the consecration ticks that will happen will be enough for you to keep threat while they pump. So I would say engineering is a mandatory profession for paladins on the basis of grenades alone. And that's my personal view on it. Yeah. There's no defensive. Are the stamp trinkets? No, they're not a pre-raid best. Kinda. Depends on how much you care about crush cap. If you're not gonna be able to get crush cap with while using 2 stamp trinkets in pre-raid gear. But once you get some raid gear, like the Iron Maiden gauntlets, the tier helmet, all that kind of stuff, tier shoulders, whoa. Yeah, they're gonna regret that. Come on. Yep. They pulled aggro, I'm afraid. Actually. Granted, I'm being a bit of a pepega and not judging Crusader when I should have been judging Crusader from the start here. They were really pushing that damage. Well, they're still pushing the damage. Can we kill it before it kills us with the ads? Can we do it, boys and girls? Because those ads will fucking kill us. If they actually do their full thing. Well, I guess you can just have enough DPS to ignore the ads. Yeah, don't think the hunter is emptying you either. Oh well. World of Warcraft hunters. I'm not sure. Yeah, threat isn't an issue. I'm sorry, if it literally takes a warlock with full consumables and fucking flask to pull threat out of me, where I don't get an MD, yeah, I'd say my threat is fucking fantastic. And also me memeing with no Crusader. That's the one thing you need to judge Crusader. But seriously, gear for fucking survivability, that's not a meme. It's not even a discussion. The 6k crushing, what do you think is more important? The 6k blows, forget crushing blows. The 6k special attacks or normal hits that some mobs can do? Or the fact that sometimes some people might pull aggro from you. Make your decision on that. It's just silly to gear for threat until you don't have survivability. You didn't have righteous. Well, I guess so. Righteous Fury ran out. Man, I'm horrible at keeping track of everything that I'm dealing with right now. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, right now. This is a Badge of Justice server. So we get pre-made characters and they have the slow mount. I have the fast mount on the other server. Well, boys and girls, what heroic do you guys want me to do? I'm open to suggestions. Just keep in mind Alcatraz and Durnhold and Black Morass would be annoying to go to. Just because, well, actually we can't do Alcatraz because we don't have the key on the server, but I'm not doing the quest here. Alright. So I think I'm gonna try Ramparts. I've heard horror stories about it. I'm kind of curious to see how it is. I've done Shatter Holes. There's even a video on it. Getting the key for it would be a problem. I don't have it. Well, the materials aren't too hard for it. But yeah, just kind of CBA really. Blood Furnace? Sure, why not? You know what? I'm gonna find looking for man, DPS plus heal, Blood Furnace, Heroic. Let's go Blood Furnace Heroic. I actually want to see how Blood Furnace is here. Because that one is the one Heroic I rated as being one of the hardest.
Time is money, friend. Glad I could help.
I'll probably do Ramparts at one point, but honestly, Ramparts is a joke of a heroic regardless. The final boss is apparently bugged in the beta, but outside of that, it's not really... how's your raid go the other night? Well, I don't raid anymore. Except Shadowlands, so... I don't play with any guild right now. Except the one in class that I'm gonna be playing with once TBC Classic comes out. But outside of that, like, I'm not doing anything with them right now. Have we got around to doing BM Heroic? No, not yet. The problem is with BM Heroic is on the beta you need to do the quest to enter BM. So you actually need to do the whole attunement process. What's the problem? You need to do a run of Durnhold. Yeah, Resist is finished. On private servers at the very least. Or on the TBC server is at the very least. Now, the reason, honestly, I'm fine with that. A lot of people, basically people quit the moment the beta came out. People weren't interested. Prep for Classic, yada yada yada. XD collapsed as well. The best guild on the server didn't want to bother doing Sunwall Plateau. Though in their case, there might have been, let's just say, other reasons. I've heard they got bought out by oil barons from Kuwait or something like that to play in a classic guild or something. Some story. Well, I guess we'll see which guild is actually better in Classic. XD or Resist, because apparently XD is going to play TBC Classic, so we shall see who wins that game. Personally, I don't know. Obviously, Resist has a significant advantage because they're already starting with the Classic roster, right? That's geared and all that. Though I'm sure XD will get a lot of geared people as well from Classic and all that, and do Naxes to get stuff that they want to use later down the line. So we'll see. Nope. Well, all I know about XD is what I've heard. Now, I don't know how valuable is that. Yeah, there was a heroic lockout back in the day. I don't much care about the WoW music in general. Well, there are some really good tracks and raids, but outside that, yeah. The Anger Marsh ambience. You know what? I admit it's hard for me to like any of the leveling zones in TBC because I always play a paladin, and paladin is horrible at solo leveling. That's kind of the problem. Oh, apparently the second boss in Blood Furnace Heroic is bugged. Well, I'm kind of curious to see. Ooh. Wow, okay. No, Retribution is pretty horrible in its own right, actually. I'm gonna say that. Ret is not fun to level as. Either. You just have significant downtime, that's the problem. Alright, I'm gonna still keep trying to find people. So apparently the second boss might be bugged. But that's fine. I'm not necessarily interested in clearing. I want to see the overall state of the instance. But hey, this is why we have a beta. Test stuff. Test stuff that's not just about bug fixing for Blizzard. That's their QA team, QA department's job. Do you think the current TL numbers in Hunters or the Matter will persist in live? No. Healers might be low, but I think Hunters will be very high. Top 5 DPS when TBC comes out. Hunter, Warlock, Mage, Shaman? Yep. I want to make Mutilate Rogue test, but I can't. Rep. Such as it is. Well, I know I have the key because I've done the damned... Do I actually? Report... Did I do it on another character? Yeah, I guess I did.
Thrall Hall. May your blades
Okay.
never dull.
Doing blood furnace without a warlock. What the fuck am I thinking? Well, what I'm thinking is I want a long and torturous experience. But whatever, I'm not interested in kicking people right now.
Better be good.
But I should have brought the warlock. That's the one thing I'm probably gonna regret. If we manage to get past the second boss, who apparently is really bugged. I brought a mage because I want the CC. But I might pay the price for it. Why is this version of the game superior than Shadowlands? Because Shadowlands' community is... Well, the community that Shadowlands has right now is absolutely terrible. Like, genuinely. Like, it just is horrible. Like, I don't know, it's kind of one of those odd things about World of Warcraft. On one hand, as a streamer, as a content creator, you always have a reason to play it because people are interested in it. Well... Yeah. Like, obviously, as a content creator, there's always people interested in watching WoW, but in actually playing WoW, less so. Shut up from Dark Ox. Okay. It's not even that people are toxic, honestly. Like, people being toxic, yeah, it's an issue, right? It's something no one really enjoys. And that's one of the things that I've realized with myself is, like, playing WoW with certain people just makes me toxic as well. But the issue I have... the personal issue I have with regards to TBC, sorry, with regards to retail. Pays to know a healer. Yeah. The issue I have with regards to retail is that people are just really bad. Like, in communication or listening to anything. Like, I think the biggest fail I saw in all of the time that I've spent in retail was doing Sludgefist, which is one of the last bosses in Nafria. Doing Sludgefist, and mind you, there's a bunch of mechanics on Sludgefist, but the one tank mechanic this particular boss has is he will hit the tank for a huge amount of damage, but then he'll also hit another player, the other closest player to that tank. So basically, You have 2 tanks. The idea of the strategy is very simple. You have 2 tanks. They stack right on top of each other. They get hit. Each of them by 1 melee attack. If you don't have a second tank, if you only have 1 tank, he's gonna get hit twice. He'll die. It's not survivable. So you just have to do a very, very simple thing as a tank in that fight. You stack on top of each other. There's more to it than that, but that's the one thing you have to do, especially if you're an off tank. People are so horrible on retail in awareness and communication in anything. You can yell at people, you can be nice to people, you can try and tell them, they don't give a crap. There's no talking, communication, no social aspect. I socialize more, far more, in doing many of these dungeon runs on normal and heroic in TBC than I do in entire raids or mythic plus 15s on retail. And difficulty wise, yeah, it's like, you know, when I wasn't doing mythic 15, I was willing to give credence to the bullshit argument that, oh, it's difficult. No, it's not fucking difficult. It's only difficult because people are idiots who have no communication skills, who have no care whatsoever to strategize, who have no interest at all in playing the game on any decent level, basically. That's all that it is. I mean, but that's the history of WoW in general, right? The problem is not that people don't know mechanics or people screw up. That's been happening since the dawn of World of Warcraft, right? People screwing up, people fucking up mechanics. That's all fine. That's part of WoW. Sure, it can be frustrating at certain points. The thing that really drives me up the fucking... the thing that drives me up the wall and really pisses me off is when someone like me, you know, someone like me coming from like vanilla, TBC, private servers, or classic and all that, someone like me, like I've led the guild, I've led raids, I've led pugs, right? Throughout the history of WoW, I've led pugs since vanilla World of Warcraft. What's astounding about retail is not the fact that people are bad, it's people are not willing to play in any way together as a team. Whatsoever. No one talks, no one listens, no one communicates. Everyone's like, this is all they can do. This is all that the retail player base can do. Press one fucking button, or a combination of buttons. Have a weak car set up in the middle of your screen that tells you exactly when to press your button. And do this. Do this. Exactly what I'm doing right here. This is how the retail player base plays the game. No effort, no thinking, nothing. It's like a pack of monkeys would do it better. That's the sad part. That's what's so horrible about retail. It's no longer an MMO. And you know what the sad part is? The gameplay of the actual game, the dungeons, even the story and all that kind of stuff, those are fine. I mean, the story can be a pile of garbage in many ways. There are problems and bosses, but it's like, if I was to rate Shadowlands purely on just the gameplay enjoyment, I'd be having a lot of fun. And that's actually the sad part about it. Oh, go get the guild. No, I'm sorry, a guild is not a magical solution to all these problems. It's not, because if these kind of things happen in pugs, which, by the way, they don't happen in Classic, they don't happen in TBC, in the TBC Beta, they don't happen on private servers of Vanilla or TBC. It's not, a guild is not a magical solution. Just saying go get a guild, sure, I can get a guild, maybe. I can get a group of friends, maybe, that I can play with. And I avoid some of these issues, or a lot of these issues. But here's the point. This is not, just saying get a guild is not a magical solution for the lack of community on retail. You just have, yeah, you just have significant problems. And yeah, you also get that in guilds. It's not like guilds will just be magically better than pugs and all that. That's not how the game works. If there's a lack of, if the player base is playing the game in a certain way outside of guilds, do you think that they play better in guilds? That's not true. I mean, sure, you do have something going for you in like, you know, in like communications, yeah. But I'm not gonna dispute the fact that it would be better in a guild, but I think there is a fundamental problem with the game if it's so broken with the usual player base. If it's so broken, really, on every level, and from that perspective, and the only case where it's not broken is getting a bunch of people on a Discord together and trying to make it work. If that's the only kind of you're not gonna tell me raids and dungeons. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that the idea that somehow Mythic Plus is hard on retail is a load of crap. That's what I'm gonna argue. Just because there's more mechanics does not make it harder. Or because, oh, there's flashier mechanics. Sorry, it's not even that there's more mechanics, it's that they're flashier mechanics. That's the thing. It's like flashy. Denafrius, take Denafrius Heroic. Okay, you tell me Denafrius Heroic is a hard boss? Yeah, bullshit. Phase 1, stack in front of the boss at specific intervals and avoid some AoE. Phase 2, kill some ads and avoid some AoE. Phase 3, kill the boss and avoid some AoE and tank swap. Really hard boss, guys. Mind you, 90% of people I've played with in Pugs have fucked it all up, but yeah. Anyway, let's go do some Blood Furnace Heroic. Oh, that imp. Oh my gosh, this is gonna hurt. Time to put on the serious face. Oh, that does hurt. Okay, so there gotta be some solutions. Was that the imp or was that the... I'm gonna have to look at the damage and see what actually was hitting me there, because I need to know exactly where I took the damage from. So most of that damage, 81%, was melee. Okay. I'm gonna live to regret not bringing a Warlock, I can say. Yeah. This is gonna hurt. So these guys should have an extra attack that they do. And kiting them might end up being a bad thing. Oh man. I think I'm really gonna hate my life in this dungeon. I could have brought a Warlock. I had a guy that wanted to join me as a Warlock and I didn't because I didn't want to kick people. And I'm gonna live to regret that. Ooh. This is gonna be nasty. Okay, give me a second, boys and girls. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna go get... Okay. Let's kill this. I might die here because the healer is tapped out. Maybe. But we'll see. There we go.
Hey.
Hello. So the damage, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna regret not bringing a Warlock here. I had the guy offering, but it's like I didn't want to kick any of the DPSers. I will learn to regret that.
Hey, I'll appreciate it.
Why is a Warlock important? Curse of Weakness, that's why. I'm running 411 spell power. I'm not wearing any exceptional gear right now. So those guys, those orcs that did so much damage earlier, they have like...
how that slow boss is gonna hit.
We'll see. We will see. I wouldn't expect the bosses here to be a problem. I'd expect the trash to be the main issue.
Like the little rogues hiding in the corners.
I'm not worried about the rogues. I'm worried about like just some melee mobs. That's a 3k damage swing. Holy shit. These guys have like a strike ability. There it is. That white damage is the strike ability. Well, thankfully I have Iron Shield potions. Yeah, this is not a good group for me. I don't have an inspiration. I don't have a demo shout. I kind of need both, really. Or at least one. Okay, potion. Maybe I should tell the mage to sheep. Oh my gosh.
Oh shit.
Yep.
I didn't have a chance to get 3 stacks of Life Bloom on you. Should have done that.
Yeah. All right. Time for the frost trap. Let me get some HP.
All right, take 2.
Okay, let's see here. For the record, Blood Furnace is one of the hardest heroics and should be one of the hardest heroics. It might end up being the hardest heroic. Just FYI, we might not be able to actually complete this heroic. The second boss might be a bit too extreme. Let's leave it there.
Well, that's what I was wondering. The one that slows everybody.
Oh, it's not. It's the ads before him that are the problem, apparently. So yeah, here I just. Whoa, my. That was like 4 attacks because they queue up their melee attacks if I try and kite them. So that can happen. It's fine.
Well, if we have to sheep one, we have that.
Well, just 1 pack and we'll be fine, I think. Or not.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That was what, 4 attacks, I think.
Leeches, take my blood and choke on it.
Kite tanking it is. It feels like retail all over again.
One shot at the hunter pet. There was no point on healing it at that point.
Okay. These mobs will either hit very
The
hard.
new gamer mouse. I've been mashing buttons a little too hard.
Yeah. These guys do a sweeping strike. I'm gonna feel sad for that pet. Because it's gonna die a lot. Okay, that wasn't too bad.
I was just gonna ban the midway.
A hunter telling me he's gonna bring an owl pet in heroics just because of this kind of stuff. Smart move.
I mean, having abilities, because they're gonna get one-shotted, just as long as they have some sort of CC.
Well, it's just the attack power reduction, right? Oof. It's a smart move. Let me see if I can pull that big guy. Oh, we got two of the small ones as well.
Are prod pally abilities instant cast?
Some, yeah, most. Why?
I'm just looking at the Curse of Tongues. Like, how high of a priority is that?
On what?
Well, they cast Curse of Tongues.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the-
yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about the context, but yeah, no, it's no problem. Oh, I don't have Righteous Fury. I'm a Pepega. Okay, let's get... Ooh, Rogue. I think the Hunter knows what he's doing. I gotta appreciate that, actually. A competent Hunter. Imagine something like that actually existing.
You know, one of the people who taught me to play used to be in the guild Death and Taxes. And he was a hunter in our guild, and he, like, I mean, he put everybody else to shame in a big way.
Yeah.
Just, like, with the amount of CC that he was good at doing in dungeons, the way that, like, you know, his pet was not dying because he knew when to take it in and out, the melee weaving.
Yeah, that's a poison. Or is it? I don't know. Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Survival spec, also the highest DPS in the guild.
Skill does matter. And he's that kind of level of skill. Oof, that strike ability. Finish the mob! Can still kill me. Come on, you literally left the mob at 0.5%, guys. Someone's mentioning the hunter. Our resident Russian hunter shows up. Okay, patrol. Rule number 1 of Blood Furnace. Do not step into the mines. You will die.
I mean, they're capable of one-shotting in normal.
Yeah.
Get a cluster of them in one spot.
My blood will be the end of you.
Some of the places rogues are clutch.
I don't think there are rogues here, actually.
Yeah, they're all in arena.
Oh, really? Is that what rogues are gonna take as their consolation prize? Arena. It's like, well, guys, we can't PvE, so we're gonna go PvP, and we're not gonna be the best in that there either.
Yeah, once the GM claims the Glaives of Azeroth for himself, of course.
Yeah, of course. It's like a rogue is gonna be like, I think the only rogues that are gonna get those glaives are those that are either exceptionally good. Yes, unicorns do exist, I know. There are rogues that are so exceptionally good you want to bring them anyway. I've met like 3 in all the years I've played WoW. And I've literally played in one of the best guilds in Classic, so that should give you an idea of how rare they are.
You're not even gonna have one for exposed armor?
The thing about exposed armor, it's 100 DPS, right? I mean, my guild will. We have a rogue in our roster. But you can't totally run everything without one. The thing about exposed armor, is it's like let's say it's 100 DPS for each physical DPSer, right? In the raid. But the rogue still needs to do a certain level of damage for that to be worth it. And the problem is most can't do that. Most rogues can't do that. Especially not in tier 4 and tier 5. With tier 6, different story. So it's just better to bring a more pure DPS for it. Like, honestly, if it's a choice between a rogue and a fury warrior, I'd go with a fury warrior every day.
Well, fury warriors have been very impressive.
Yeah, they are the highest melee DPSer in the game. I mean, they get screwed because of threat issues and other issues and all that, but still. Anyway, boss, he's gonna potentially hit me very hard. We'll see. Never mind.
And abilities that maybe will change your mind?
He is, he just did an MC on the shaman, I guess.
Stay away from me.
All right. Let me see where the patrol is. Okay, pulling. Incoming.
Illidan is an arrogant fool. I will crush him.
Now it seems they fixed the issue with HOTS not generating mana. Good job, mage! By all means, jump into the pack. It's gonna end very well for you. Or the stuff. Oh. I like how the mage just literally blinked into that, and it's like, I'm gonna meet my people. That was sweet.
Holy shit.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Are these guys missing anything? No, not yet. $3.2k hits. Yeah, that's nothing. Silenced. Unfortunate. Ah, sorry. Should have bopped you.
You can do this, I believe in you. Nice.
Okay.
They also fixed the mana regen, which I'm not a big fan of.
Mm-hmm. Well, imagining having mana issues as a druid, the horror.
It's absolutely unacceptable, frankly. My name was supposed to be ironic.
Well, it will be ironic when you let me die on the floor with full mana. Yeah.
And here I'm remembering I have trinkets specifically for mana.
Just healer things, right? Let me guess, prayer books.
Of course, prayer books.
Away, you mindless parasites! My blood is my own.
Oh, yeah, we have a mage.
Alright, gonna pull. Incoming. This world is ours. You sure about that? Because I swore it belonged to a certain guy named Illidan. Okay. Well, gonna deal with the rogues here. Or the rogue here. I do like the fact that the BM Hunter knows what he's doing. Like, he knows the dungeon.
Doesn't it just make everything go smoother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Having someone that knows what they're doing, yeah. All right. So let's see. This is gonna be a fun one. I'm a bit afraid to pull, I admit, over here. Because, like, you have that patrol, the pack in the middle has 2 casters, wonderful. But we can manage like this, I guess.
Yeah. Just gonna stay behind here.
Not really fond of that pack. Now, so far we're demolishing the mobs, but this is how the beta has been so far. Very high damage being done by the mobs, very high damage done by the group. Keep in mind we do have flasks and all that kind of stuff. You won't use flasks for heroics. Unless you're an extreme try-hard player, I suppose. But the vast majority of people will not use flasks in heroics. That was an interesting trap bug. Okay, let's deal with this. And so far, so good, right? Some very high damage, but perfectly manageable, right?
Yeah, as long as I just don't take it lightly and like.
Yeah, there is no AFK.
Also, no down ranking really.
Yeah, imagine that you have to that your mana pool needs to be 0 by the time the mobs die. Every pack. Consider that your challenge.
Oh, that's not a challenge. It's an easy thing to accomplish lately.
How long do you believe your pathetic sorcery can hold me?
Alright. Shadow Moon Technician free pack. We meet again. I died on this pack when I first did this on normal. Because they dropped those those mines. Though interestingly, they don't seem to do as much damage on heroic as I thought they would. Or I feared they would, actually. Okay. So even though I ate a lot of mines there, I survived it just fine. I think I will refuse to do any dungeon without a mage. I'm wasting too much fucking water. Oh, that's gonna... Okay, there we go. All right. Final pack, and then time for fun. All right, get their life bloom on me. All right, going. Okay, Frost Nova works. Let's see how much the damage is. Okay, it's high. It is very high. So Trap doesn't work. Frost Nova works. Okay, some of them can be frozen, not all of them. Run! Here we go. Good mage, good job. Do you have an innervate?
I was hoping to.
Yeah, I think. Oh. I just needed it at that point. Sorry.
Illidan is an arrogant fool. I will crush him and reclaim Outland as my own.
Got saved by the mage, really. You should be able to drink after the boss comes out, basically. Oh, he's coming for you. Come in. Oh. CR, CR, CR. Oh.
Your range and
We might still be able to recover this, I think. Just as long as they kill these mobs.
oh, shit.
Come on, guys. Yeah, rip.
I really just I couldn't get that cast off.
That was unfortunate. Oh well.
I should not have taken even a second to look at DPS. Like, I saw this jammy was super low, but I should have just stayed on you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if he dies, right?
He has the Yonk. I just need to keep you alive.
Yeah. I'm gonna mark a skull this time around. I should have been doing that for the last time, but it's like I got so much shit to worry about. The thing is, they enrage when they get low HP, so if, like, if you AoE them, right, and if DPS is spread out, then they all enrage at the same time, that's one dead tank very quickly there, I think. At least I believe that's how it works, anyway.
Well, take two.
I would have brought the Warlock instead of the Hunter. As useful as he is with the Frost Trap, the Warlock is more important in some ways. Not for the stuff we've dealt so far, but for the stuff that is ahead of us. Though dealing with with this event is the hardest part of the dungeon by far. The things that are lying in wait in the room beyond, though, aren't going to be a picnic either, though. But the thing is, you can potentially recover from those mobs. Here, if you wipe, you have to do that whole event all over again. I don't know what happens if you do the event and then the gate is opened.
One of my guildies is re-rolling to Prod Pally, and I trolled one of the warrior tanks has been farming MC for just forever for binding. And I'm like, you know what? You haven't gotten it. Clearly, you're just not meant to. Let's just give it to the Prod Pally in pre-patch.
I don't know how strong it will be for the Prod Pally. Like, I know some people have gotten Thunder Fury. I'm not gonna worry about them myself. But like, I've seen Thunder Fury in the beta and it's like crazy powerful. Like the proc rate at the very least. How much that proc is worth, that's a different discussion, right?
Away, you mindless parasites! My blood is my own.
Hopefully there are no rogues because I don't have any mana to use for them. So I don't have a priest to give me stamina buff here. I'm literally wearing pre-raid gear that's really good. Many of the pieces, not all of them. Like the bracers could be better, the boots could be better, all that kind of stuff. But still, I have a lot of gems, enchants, all that kind of stuff. I have the best in slot tier 4 gloves. I have the best in slot shield until tier 6. All that kind of stuff. I have 2 stamina trinkets and I'm getting smashed. Doing this heroic fully until you get like a fully geared raid tank is going to be an interesting situation. Slow trap doesn't seem to work. Cone of cold appears to be working. Question mark. Frost Nova works. Just found Light Club. Well, welcome from Light Club. Okay, gonna get some mana. So this is all gonna be very, very interesting. Doing that again. It just feels so RNG. One of the things I can tell you for damn certain is I would not want to do this with a warrior tank. The sad part is, of all of it, is the following thing. Warrior tanks want the trinket from here because it's their best in slot threat trinket. Oh my gosh. Kind of wish the hunter was not dropping it directly at the gate. I'll try and tell him, but good luck doing so. Oh, stunt, stunt. That stun is gonna hurt. I'm not gonna. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Come on. Heal me. Heal me. Yeah, you can save your use your innervate on yourself now.
Touch. Why did I go out of form?
Okay, you're fine mana-wise though, right? Yeah, you are. That works. Oh, so dead.
It really doesn't.
Can you see her? Just see her. Like, don't waste time. Come on. Okay, now we pray that the boss doesn't get aggro. So I can actually... Oh, come on.
Shit, that boss.
Great. I'm gonna DI the shaman if I can find it. Yep.
The door closes, or do we have to run back?
We'll get res. Don't run in. We did it. Blizzard isn't so masochistic that they do that, make us do the whole event every time we wipe on the boss. Oh man. I'm just gonna say this. It's like, I don't know how you put it as a Restore Druid, because fucking hell. Not having, like, yeah, not having Circle of Healing or stamina buff as a priest is just like, holy shit.
Counting on the people to run out of the way while the hot gets to them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the heal is there. It's on you.
Oh boy.
I didn't speak to full mana though. Oh,
Yeah, Shaman Pope. You got the bit too close. It's fine, the boss is not gonna do anything, he's just gonna die. Don't worry about it. I think this is by far the hardest heroic in the game right now.
Gauntlet itself was just like way levels above everything else.
Yeah, like it's not even close. Oh, and you know what the best part is? We're about to deal with some of the hardest heroic mobs right now with the Fel Guards. Not the blue ones, the orange ones towards the end. It would be fine if we had a Warlock, but we don't have a Warlock. So yeah, fun times are about to begin.
At least we have a art group.
Why is that mage just so eager to die? I don't get it. It's like, I'll run ahead, guys. Don't worry.
Well, he blames latency.
I'm like, is your latency really? Are you auto running, dude? Oh man. Okay, so these Fel Guards, yeah, they hit for free key, but it's all fine. It's survivable. But these aren't the problem. The orange ones are. There should be another rogue. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Just gonna do a small mana potion there. One of the things I'm gonna hate when TBC Classic actually comes out is I won't just be able to mana pot on cooldown.
So many major mana pots in like 3 bank calls.
Yeah. I suppose there's that as well, yeah.
I just bought all the flasks on discount.
Okay.
Well, okay then.
I don't know how that happened, but okay.
We don't know how to say.
Play, you mindless.
I kind of would have expected Save Man to save you, man. Like,
Okay. Well, I bubbled to save myself, and then the mage was still too close, sadly.
Felguard's melee swing hits I am for 7165.
Sounds legit.
796 overkill.
And just remember, those were the easy Fel Guards. The hard ones are here. the ones that drop aggro and hit for twice as much damage. Are you ready?
I'm gonna buff up really quickly. Get the food buff.
Let the pain begin. Okay, pulling this pack, and then Fell Guards right after. I wish people didn't. Did he just stay away from the start or something? I don't know. Oh, he flame strike.
Mederic, I can't heal you both.
I think he did a flame strike right as the mobs were passing through my consecration or something. Anyway.
It's actually kind of funny.
Use invisibility potion and skip them. No, we are here to test stuff. And even though we might
still blame the latency.
Yeah, clearly. Well, here we are. The artist mobs. We're gonna wipe. Be ready. Stay max range because these guys will lose aggro. Oh, you can stun them. Okay. And they do that quickly. When they do hit, they will hit like a truck. Yeah! As I said. I'm literally using an Iron Shield potion. I have a defensive flask. And I'm trembling in fear at the idea of dealing with these mobs. That's how I view that.
I just gotta get good at timing your animation when you're pulling, so I can pre-hide.
My animation, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's gotta be exactly timed. Every global CD counts here.
I kind of wish every sheep counted here, but it's like we don't do that here. I mean, isn't Moon the universal sheep icon? Just FYI. Okay, I'm not gonna stun this. If I die, I die.
It's not universal.
Apparently. I'm giving the mage a hard time, though, for this, when he did an amazing job on the gauntlet, though.
Oh, I ran out of water.
Oh, you need water?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second, I'll trade you. There we go.
Thank you.
Can the hunter not trap them? Is someone asking in my chat. I suppose he could. Hold on a second. Guess we'll see if trap works. Whoa. Well, trap does work. CC does work, okay.
But still, fuck these mobs. They hit so hard.
Yeah. I'm not joking. These hit harder than the vast majority of raid bosses in the game. That's not even a joke. I'm not trying to exaggerate here. It's like genuine. Did you, Karazhan?
No, we had a group that had the really bugged ads on the curator.
Yeah.
We just, like, the group couldn't pull it together. It fell apart.
Yeah, I figure. I think a lot of groups failed there for whatever reason. For that reason, I mean, my group struggled with that as well. I mean, it's hard. The sparks are supposed to be one at a time, and they were hard to deal with on retail. A lot of groups failed to do curator. Like, first, everything up until then.
Well, let him loose. He'll kill us all.
That noise really needs to be taken down 10 notches.
Who dares interrupt? What is this? What have you done? You'll ruin everything!
Okay.
Closer. Come Come closer and burn!
Well, I mean, the gauntlet was by far the hardest thing I've done on the beta so far, except McFerrin. But beyond that, and that was pretty chill.
Literally, it's just one little part of it that stands out, and everything else is a joke.
Well, the damage I was taking is not a joke. That's for damn certain. Okay.
Well, we had some CCs that helped. Did they fix that last boss? Supposedly, because I remember when I did it, I was running out of the fire and it would still kill me.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. They might have fixed it, they might not have fixed it. I don't even know if there's been a patch. Are they fearable? They might be, I don't know. I'm a bit sketchy about casting fear, though, on them. Because if you miss, you're gonna pay a price. I'd rather cast an Avenger Shield and deal with the consequences of tanking 2 of them. And rely on someone else to CC. Like, they probably are fearable, though. But Paladin Fear is really, really sketchy. Oh, it's undead only, okay. Fair enough. I very rarely used undead, the Paladin Fear. So yeah, I'm just gonna go repairing for Almar. Okay.
I never mailed to myself in this server. I can already see it now. There's going to be groups in tier 5 offering carries through heroics for fresh alts.
Macra. Go forth to victory.
Well, I mean, as long as Blizzard doesn't really care about RMTs, then yeah. I mean, even if they did take action right now, it's too late. The economy is broken. So, there's too much gold in circulation.
Well, like, for example, I've just benefited from that by the mere fact that I play a lot of JKPs, and I know for a fact that somebody who's buying something for 20k,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I don't believe that they're just buying it for... Unless it's like a full set for 20k, then I know one warlock who just like jumped all his gold, but got like fully geared up.
Yeah, I see.
Like that, I understand.
Alright, let's do Ramparts and see how it is. Probably a lot easier. Some of the mobs will hit very hard, but that's gonna be...
I mean, it was pretty easy when I did it, even with the warrior tank. And actually, it was a full melee group. It was 2 enhanced chamois, a warrior, and a rogue. And the last boss was the only place where we just got stuck because I kept dying, kept running out.
Yeah. Just got a new card, I guess. But honestly, the only thing that compares in difficulty is probably the Satyr boss in Botanica to that gauntlet. And I think like that gauntlet is way, way harder.
That's one I haven't done is Botanica Heroic.
It's fairly easy actually. It's not the problem.
I did all the others. The Arc with you and Mech with a warrior tank. And people did not appreciate that positive and negative charges mean you have to like step away.
What, they've never done Thaddeus or what?
They just didn't pay attention. They're like, oh, that's a Thaddeus mechanic. And they learned that after, like, we barely made it just because I had hots on everybody at all times.
Well, if you can heal for it, then yeah.
The tank was barely taking damage from that boss, so I was just cycling through Life Bloom on all 5 players while they were just standing right next to me. I'm like moving away, they're running to me. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Probably thought I knew where I was going, and they're like, oh, I gotta stick with the healer. He's clearly moving somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I think if we do this, the only heroic that I still need to do is BM. That's it. And I don't really care for BM in any way.
I really tried with the group earlier.
Oh, how hard is it?
Well, no. I tried. We had to get them through it, and we had to do a Old Hillsbrad. They decided, let's do an Old Hillsbrad heroic. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's see how this goes. I've done it once. I'm sure this is going to be fine. But the tank just could not hold threat on mobs, and it was a pally tank.
Yeah, a lot of pally tanks are just plain bad at gearing their characters up. Like, you know, it's kind of amusing. I see a lot of pally tanks with like spell damage gems and more spell power than me, and they can't hold threat for shit. Meanwhile, look at my gear, I'm wearing full fucking mitigation. So it's like, and I'm pretty much full mitigation. I'm holding threat just fine. But hey, experience counts for something, right?
A talent for heals giving you back mana?
What? There's no talent like that. It's passive. It's a trained skill. Spiritual attunement.
So it now finally works with HOTS?
I think so. You just need to do BM with no offensive this spell. I don't think I can do BM normal with no offensive this spell plaster. Just to say that. Oh man. I think if I ever see a priest that doesn't know what their dispel button is, no. Actually, anyone that's played Classic, has full axe gear, and you tell me you don't know what removing magical effects from a target is, what game have you played? What's the best dungeon to boost God to make gold as prop ally in TBC? Scholomance. Solo Scholomance or Solo Stratholm. I'd recommend Scholomance. You have a vendor right outside. And I'm not talking boosting here. I'm literally just talking farming. It's 300 gold per hour. Easily. Maybe more, maybe less. Doesn't... I mean, I guess it probably would be more, because Dark Runes are going to be expensive as fuck. One of the things I've been doing badly these runs is I haven't been buffing their pets. Out of all the expansions, which one did you like the most? I'm playing it right now. How gear do you need to do it? What, BM? I have no idea. I haven't done it yet, but we'll see. I hope to eventually get into it, but yeah, gonna take a bit of time. Okay, so I'm imagining mobs don't hit so hard so I can pull, right? Like this. Oh yeah. Compared to what we just did, this is a vacation. He should have pulled this pet back. Poor pet. Alright, I'm gonna wait a bit. Get some mana. I mean, if I was realistic, I wouldn't drink this much. But this is what you get,
He
right?
did hit hard towards the end there.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah. I think he has a special or something. Truthfully, you're not... Oh, I'm gonna regret that. Oh. I thought my Avenger Shield had to target this side. Okay, let's see. Okay, so these archers shouldn't be hard, but obviously the wild card is that patrol, so I'm just gonna pull back over here. Let the mortal strike commence, boys and girls. Let the mortal strike commence. I'm just gonna throw a stun just to be on the safer side. Like, I don't know how hard these mobs hit, because I would, you can always, like, the one thing of Ramparts is, like, if you're confident in your damage. Okay. Kill the wolves. Rule number 1 in all the Hellfire dungeons, you kill the damn wolves first, because they hit the hardest. See, that's what I mean. And also, they die very quickly. Ooh, that damage. That bleed. Okay, come on, come on. Yep.
Oh, why weren't the heals landing? Oh, wait, got a chamois.
Nice one. Okay, it's fine, whatever. Alright. Let's do this. Okay. I could have bubbled to save myself earlier, but I wanted to save it for these packs. Though I will use it on that pack that's coming up right here. I'm fine, actually. So I guess I won't use it. Maybe the pack after. Right, time to unleash the Tremor Totem. Here it comes. Maybe I should just target the caster and put that target. Because they die so easily. These might hit hard with their mortal strikes. I haven't.
Much stronger downrank penalty.
What?
They fixed that.
Oh, okay. Gonna use this iron shield there. I know it's not realistic. Though honestly, that was kind of a waste of a potion, really. That was fun. They just love that pet.
If I feel like I can get to it, it's a big part of the DPS, and it could kill the mob faster. You're talking about the pet?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Because I keep healing it.
I didn't realize there was one more mob. Sorry. Yep. I mean, it's the thing about the pet is like those two melee guys were just doing some specials on it, having sweepings, strikes or something.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't run away yet.
Okay. So let's see here. We might be able to skip. Well, we certainly will be able to skip a pack here, so move up. Two wolves. Okay. All right, I did not anticipate that. Okay, mage resheeped, thankfully. Because otherwise I would be dead. Did not think that you would pull from that. The pack, that is. Suppose I was wrong. Could have let him keep waddling around. I mean, this is pretty easy. Like, yeah, damage is really high as in other heroics, but it's not as high as some other places, so.
Well, this is considered the easier heroic that people would farm for the badges, right?
Akanai Crypts is easier. Mechanar should be easier because, you know, you get that extra badge there, so.
Problem is, you have to have those really elite mechanics of Thaddeus, where you can hit people with different charge, and I don't know if people are capable of that.
It is an interesting conversation. I think, I mean, yeah, sure, you can totally run ramps. I think, honestly, I think Steam Vaults is still far easier to do it overall than any of the Hellfires. Slave Pens is not that hard either. I mean, sure, the mobs hit harder than Slave Pens, but these also hit pretty hard as well.
I'm just thinking of how, because I'm not going to be able to do heroics always with my guild, how I'm going to be pugging I'm farming the badges at the beginning.
It's a kind of hard one to say, really. Like honestly, I can't really tell it. I think like Steam, like I would say Steam Vaults, but there's always the proviso of like people knowing what they're doing, people not fucking around the groups and all that. But you're a healer, make your own groups, right? Wow, that mob just disappeared in that chain lightning.
I do love a chain lightning. Yeah, I will be able to start groups.
So you can pick and choose what classes you want. For Steam Vaults, get the Warlock, for instance. He makes the first boss easy. He makes the second boss easy. He makes everything easy there.
That's a common theme for most dungeons, I've noticed.
Yeah, bring a Warlock, have an easy life. Why? Yeah, people wonder why the Warlock is actually one of the best, if not the best class in TBC. I'm exaggerating a bit, but yeah, for dungeons, very few things beat the Warlock. Maybe a Mage, but the Mage doesn't have the seed.
You need to deal with like small packs of just little guys who hit hard. Seed is your best friend.
This may hurt a little.
This may hurt a little. I am so terrified. Mommy.
Every guide I've read said that Bloodlust does not increase the speed of your GCD. So as a Druid, I don't need to care about haste at all.
No.
Very wrong. It's all a difference.
Yeah, but you still shouldn't care about Bloodlust as a rest Druid, right?
Don't you have like a shaman in every group?
Yes, but you will swap them out to benefit specific groups with that.
I see.
You might get one Bloodlust as a rest Druid in your group. Depends on the group setup, yeah.
Drums it is.
Oh, Mage is better than Warlock just because Mage gives you mana. Biscuit.
True.
Get them biscuits. I hold this dungeon as such contempt right now that I'm running out of line of sight of you. With the mob on my ass.
Yeah. And it honestly doesn't even matter.
Okay. Like after Blood Furnace, this is like fucking what universe is this? Parallel universe.
Blood Furnace, I mean, yes, the mobs hit hard, but really it was that gauntlet.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, for me as a tank, the stress of dealing with those mobs is quite high. Because, like, I have to kite. Like, I wouldn't have survived the trash without, one, the mage just frost notifying constantly and myself kiting, right? Or doing some plays to avoid the damage.
And the frost traps as well, right?
Well, the hunter didn't really use frost traps on trash, but yeah, for the gauntlet, absolutely. I think the hunter was placing them way too far in the gate. He should have placed them a bit further back so I could have used the area better. But yeah.
I wonder if I could take my bear druid and just face tank him.
Maybe you could, but you wouldn't hold aggro. That's the issue. But maybe you could. Just swipe for it. I love it when DPS doesn't finish a mob, leaves it at like 5-10% HP. And then switches to the other, kills that one first.
I hate to admit that when I'm DPS, I'm sometimes guilty of that myself.
Oh, I mean, it's as a caster DPS, all of which these guys are caster DPS. It is less damage. Like, I play the Warlock, I noticed this myself in Kara. So, yeah. But the Hunter should finish them off, the caster should switch. The Hunter is not finishing them off. Ah, good, Mr. Mage. You're fulfilling your purpose. An Arcane Frost Mage? What the world is this? I don't think he's had serious mana issues so far.
Hasn't been too bad, it looks. You've always had a handy consecrate when you've needed it.
Okay, let's go. I might die.
I didn't get 3 stacks of life for me, now my display.
Oh. Mage saves today?
Oh, good shit.
See, the stuff that the mage is doing is one of the reasons I actually loved playing mage in vanilla. Actual vanilla, retail vanilla. The problem is you need a good tank to that can take advantage of that. And when I didn't take out her good tanks, I got really irritated as a mage. So I rerolled to tank.
I, on the other hand, was recommended by my group to roll a tank so that I can see why when they say I'm griefing them, that I'm griefing them.
Oh, as the
And I learned
DPS.
the hard way. Because I was so bad. My first tune was a Warlock, and I would rip Threat every time. I had no idea why. I'm like, these guys that just suck. They're just bad tanks.
Yeah.
I was just terrible DPS. Like, honestly, every tank's worst nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, as a DPS, it can be irritating. Like, you obviously want to go as hard as you can, and it can feel irritating. I would say my issue trying to play a DPS is I've no tanking. I know how much rec tanks can do, so I get really irritated with tanks very quickly when they just play badly. I had that Paladin in Karazhan, in the Karazhan I did as a Warlock that just couldn't keep aggro on anything. And I'm like, I literally had done Karazhan before, and it's like that same night, so it's like I knew he just wasn't playing well.
Feast, my pet. Eat your fill.
I mean, it's a two-way street. The tank's job is to hold Fred. The DPSer's job is to also know their limits. That's the thing. This was a joke. Oh, those. What? Oh.
Whoa.
Did you just kill yourself? Or someone killed you, I guess.
Take a look. Bane of Treachery hits me for 3,520 and then 3,330. Two ticks and I was just out. I do?
Apparently so. Maybe. I thought I keep losing kings. Whatever. I was.
Shoulders. Not that it matters. I can't wear a plate.
Oh, we have a German in this party. Okay, come guys. The sole reason we're here. Okay. I'm not gonna wait. Besides, that's the way out, so. Okay.
I gotta test my Feral Druid on this beta. See what all the fuss is about with the tanking.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard the template is really bad, so it's probably not a good thing. Like,
Well, I could try what
the Feral,
my actual
yeah.
tune.
Yeah, you could try. I mean, the Feral Druid we had, the Feral Druid we had on McFerrin had less armor than me or the Warrior, so. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I never really geared my tune past 20 mans in like phase 1 this. Because I was never really tanking in dungeons, in raids, I mean, in classic.
Hmm.
You have faced many challenges. Pity they were all in vain. Soon your people will kneel to my lord. You are nothing. I answer a higher call.
Was that the fire that was supposed to do so much damage?
I mean, he's standing in it, so that's a little different.
Yeah, but yeah,
Of
it's
you.
not killing him. That's the important bit.
Well, they completely nerfed it. Like,
Yeah.
it was one-shotting people.
Well, I mean, it's probably still doing a lot of damage. It's just, I mean, yeah, it's doing like his breath, for instance, right here is doing like 5k damage. The damage is there. It's just like people are moving fast. And Arcane Mage go boom.
No, the Chamois just stood in there and continued casting the lightning.
Oh, okay.
Barely took any damage.
Yeah, Ramps heroic, easy heroic. Not surprising. Okay. Ooh. Ooh.
That's a nice belt.
Yeah, that is a good belt. Costin likes. Well, that's done. Let's get some badges. Okay. All right. I'm going to call it a night right now. Thanks for the runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me. That was fun.
Yeah, I might be doing more stuff tomorrow, but we'll see. If you're up earlier, just feel free to hit me up at one point. But yeah, for now, I'm just gonna go to bed. And see you guys.
Have a good one.
And see you guys. Good night. Thank you all for watching. As usual, a pleasure to have all of you here. If you're interested, I do have a Discord. Click the link in the description or use the link in chat, that one. So yeah, see you around and stay tuned.